What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the things to do when visiting Las Vegas. Let's do it. All right, guys. First up, we're at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino here, but what we're going to do right now is actually head to the top of this tall stratosphere. It is 1,149 feet. That's 350 meters tall. It is actually the tallest observation tower in the United States and second only in the Western Hemisphere to the CN Tower in Toronto. Now, we did get the ticket for $18. I don't know if that's a temporary price change or if it's permanent, but if you go online, they say it is $24. But you will find roller coaster and other rides like this one that just goes right out over the edge. I mean, you are way up here when you're on this ride. There's also another ride that's at the top that takes you straight up and down, and then there's bungee jumping. And also, if you go down below to the encapsulated area, they have a rooftop restaurant right here in the stratosphere. Down below, they do have a hotel and casino at the bottom levels below the tower. By the way, guys, this is a list of 50 things to do, so let's keep on moving. Next up, we're headed over to the Venetian. This hotel casino is modeled after Venice, Italy. Inside, you will find Italian-styled art on the roof. Also on the ground is going to be marble. It's very much like a palace. They have shopping, they have restaurants, they also have an interior gondola, which we'll be showing you next. Now, this is more of a thing for couples or families, I would say, where you get to go around the gondola indoor and outdoor. They kind of take you around as if you're in a boat in Venice, Italy. And like I said, it goes through the shops and it goes outside. This is called the Gondola Ride of Venice Hotel. The ride varies between $34 per person to $39 per person, and it takes about 15 minutes. And right next to the Venetian is actually the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. Inside here you have life-size replicas of your favorite celebrities. It is cool. It takes about 45 minutes to walk through and take pictures with these life-size imagery. I personally enjoyed the Shaq one just because Shaq is so tall. The ticket here is around $37. It is $43 if you want the Universe 4D. And this is a look at that 4D that you would watch after you walk through the exhibit. Next up, we're actually going to head to the Las Vegas sign. Now, the Las Vegas sign here, all you do here is take a picture, but it's at the south side of the Strip, and it is a historical monument. And now onto the Strip, which is probably the most popular thing to do in all of Las Vegas, is walk the Strip. By the way, guys, we do put timestamps below in the description below so you can bounce around from attraction to attraction. For me, the Strip starts at Mandalay Bay and then goes all the way down to the Stratosphere, although I would really stop around Treasure Island or the new hotel, Hilton Resorts World. That's really where it is. So you're going to get the Wynn, you're going to get the Bellagio. If you wanted to know my favorite area in that whole area of the Strip, I would say aim for right in the center, and the center would be around Caesar Palace, Bellagio, the Venetian, or Paris. This hotel right here, known as Palazzo, is actually an extension of the Venetian. So if you're looking for a place that's ritzy and high-end in a great location, consider the Palazzo. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you what my favorite thing to do in Las Vegas, eat. They have so many different restaurants in Las Vegas, everything from Gordon Ramsay to Guy Fieri. All of the major chefs that are popular celebrities have restaurants here, also Wolfgang Puck, but you're going to get some of the top of the line food quality, Wagyu, sushi, tuna, all these different quality of meat, and so much variety in the Venetian or Paris. This hotel right here, known as Palazzo, is actually an extension of the Venetian. So if you're looking for a place that's ritzy and high-end in a great location, consider the Palazzo. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you what my favorite thing to do in Las Vegas, eat. They have so many different restaurants in Las Vegas, everything from Gordon Ramsay to Guy Fieri. All of the major chefs that are popular celebrities have restaurants here, also Wolfgang Puck, but you're going to get some of the top of the line food quality, Wagyu, sushi, tuna, all these different quality of meat, and so much variety in cuisine, everything from Asian fusion on down the line to Mexican food, Italian food. Obviously, you could see everything that we ate here, so many different cuisines price ranges vary too, because a lot of people used to come to Vegas because they would get the $2.99 steak. Well, nowadays that $2.99 steak seems to be about $8.99 or $11.99, and you can typically find that on Fremont Street. But you can still get affordable food in Las Vegas. Typically it's going to be more of that fast food like you would find at Excalibur, Pizza Hut, stuff like that in the food court. Basically, the cheaper the hotel, the lower the price in the food. The more expensive the hotel, the more expensive the food. Places like Circus Circus are going to have cheaper food because it's a cheaper hotel. Now let's talk about Topgolf. For those of you who like a little physical activity at night before you go out, really tie one off, you can tee off at Topgolf and smack some golf balls and let out some frustration, maybe some losses that end up turning into some gains. We'll see, right? That's what Vegas is known for. Now we're going to actually head over to another place to do some shopping, because shopping on the Strip, shopping in Las Vegas is popular. The Shops at the Crystal. Now be advised that shopping here is going to be expensive because they're going to have all the top tier designer brands, but just walking around here, you're going to get this feeling of luxury and ambiance that you won't find in many other places around the country. So if you just want to walk around and do some sightseeing, exploring, that's also okay. But if you want to get something really expensive, this is where you're going to want to go, the Shops at Crystal. And the cool thing about the Shops at Crystal, it is connected to one of the best resorts in all of Vegas, the Aria. If you ask people what are the best resorts in Vegas, they're typically going to say the Aria, the Bellagio, and the Wynn. So here we are looking around the Aria, a beautiful hotel casino. Hotel resorts like the Aria and Bellagio, they do take on themes depending on the time of the year. We were here in February, which is time for the Chinese New Year, so that's why you're noticing a lot of Chinese New Year kind of ornamentation around the Aria and other hotel resorts. Now what we're going to do is head away from the Aria over to an area known as the Link. This is where they have the High Roller. They also have some museums here. They have Margaritaville, many different restaurants. You walk around here, a really nice area. This is right in between the Harrah's and the Flamingo Hotel, right there on the Las Vegas Strip. I would say the best time to come to the Link is going to be in the evening time, and you will also see some zipliners going across, but the big ticket here is going to be this High Roller Ferris wheel. You go way up there, and it does cost $23.50. Right next to the Link and the High Roller is going to be the Selfie Museum. For those of you who want to get in there and take some fun selfies, this is a cool museum to also check out. It is $25 per person. And what would be a time in Las Vegas without trying some of the drinks? You have cocktails, you have beer, but the interesting thing about Las Vegas is you can walk with an open container along the Strip. Drinks in Vegas can add up, so a lot of people just buy something from the convenience store and they drink it in their room and tie one off before they actually go out, but they do have these cocktail waitresses that come around and provide free drinks if you're gaming. The thing is, the long wait to get that drink might end up costing you a lot. Next up, let's talk about the Mob Museum. This was one of the coolest museums I've ever been to, and it's right here in Las Vegas. The history about the mafia and how the intelligence agencies I've ever been to, and it's right here in Las Vegas. The history about the mafia and how the intelligence agencies of the United States brought down the organized crime of the mid-1900s really is impressive. You learn so much about Las Vegas, the mafia in general across the country. Now, depending on your age and your status, the prices do vary anywhere between $16 to $25. If you're a veteran, you get a benefit. Also, going online, you can get cheaper tickets. But like I said, this museum is definitely one of those things you want to add to your list while in Las Vegas. Down the road, they also have the Neon Museum, and it's right next to Fremont Street in downtown. Also, guys, as a reminder, if you check the links below, there are links to other videos, including California. Next up, let's talk about some gaming. So here you're going to have slots, you're going to have roulette, you're going to have craps. My favorite table is going to be either roulette or maybe blackjack. I also like doing some of the slot action, although that tends to be risky with your money. And speaking of awesome gaming, head over to the Wynn, which I already mentioned as one of the best hotels in all of Las Vegas. Not just because of the gaming, but because when you're in here, it is truly a palace. Indoor and outside, really amazing. If you can get a room here for $250 to $300 a night, it's probably a steal, especially if you're with your loved one. This is a romantic kind of hotel. You're going to feel like you're, royalty when you're staying at the Wynn. This here is a look at the Wynn Indoor Garden. They also have a lake here. If you go outside, you'll see different types of pools. They have also an indoor pool, which is good in the winter time because Las Vegas gets cold in the winter, but it also gets extremely hot in the summer. Part of the Wynn is going to be the Encore. It is a little bit more tame. There's not the indoor lake and the garden area, but it's still another place to check out. It's like a palace, but it's more of the leisurely kind of experience. As certification right there on the wall. Created by Jean-Philippe Maury, it is actually a 26-foot, 3-inch tall circulating fountain of chocolate. Now we're actually going to go outside the Bellagio and we're going to show you the Bellagio fountain. Now this is a show that starts in the late evening around about 5 and stops around 7 or 8 depending on when you're there. You'll have to verify those hours. It is free to watch. It's right there next to the Strip. A lot of people like to dine right there on the water here at the lake and then watch the fountain show while they're eating. But do be sure to book a reservation before trying to get one of those restaurant seats. They are popular. Next up, we're over to Area 15. Now, Area 15 is a complex of different attractions inside of this multi-acre arena kind of thing. You have Meow Wolf, you have the illumination outside, you have also very many exhibits. You could spend a whole day in here going through each exhibit. Try to book a ticket that comes with multiple attractions in one if you can. The prices can go over $100 per person. So if you do end up taking the whole family, try to block out a good 6 hours to a full day because that's how much activities are here. You can also get tickets for a lot cheaper than that. It just depends on how many activities you want to do while you're there. And from Area 15, if you want to get off the Strip for a bit, head over to downtown. This area is called Fremont Street. It's a little bit different vibe than the Strip because it's covered. And it is interesting. They got the Golden Nugget. They have a few other hotels that are popular here. They've got a new one called Circa. So definitely check out Fremont Street. But you can see there's lots of street performers. They got some zip lining that goes on here and a big light show on the roof. Again, another free activity that you can do in Las Vegas. But right here, you're going to have the bars. You can stay at the patio bar or any one of these resort bars right there on the Fremont Strip. So it's a cool thing to do. I would say it's worth checking out at least for a few hours while you're in town. It's a different vibe than the Strip. This is downtown Las Vegas. Totally different than the Strip. Two different cities actually because the Strip is actually in Paradise. This is Las Vegas. The Strip has more of that modern New World feel, whereas the Fremont experience has that old world vintage kind of Elvis Presley vibe going on. You'll see the older cars and lots of kicking back out here. Also, you're going to have the Circa, which I talked about previously. This is like the premier hotel casino right there in that area if you're looking to stay right here. What the Circa has that I really enjoy for the casino is the sports book, probably one of the best in Vegas. And here is a great look at that sports book, lots of TVs, and it's really spacious and big, so do check that out if you're into sports betting. Now we're going to talk about something you can do with your friends as a group. Get a limo. So if you've hit it big and you want to cruise up and down the Strip in style, get a limo or one of these tricycle cars or one of these sports cars and cruise up the Strip on your own. Next up, let's talk about shows. They have the Blue Man Show. They have Cirque du Soleil. They have Thunder Down Under for the ladies. They have comedy shows. Very many shows up and down here. You're going to check the Luxor. You're going to check Excalibur. You're going to check the Bellagio area, Mirage. They all have different types of shows. MGM also. And shows typically range anywhere between $50 on up to $150 to $200 per person, depending on the show you're going to go to. Now, let's talk about another complex resort area, the New York, New York. Now, New York, New York is interesting because it has the big roller coaster. It's also a resort casino with varying different rooms depending on which tower you're staying in. Also, they do have shows here, and it's connected to the T-Mobile Arena, which is where the Golden Knights play hockey. For me, I'm always impressed with the roller coaster. You can see right here, that roller coaster just kind of wraps around New York, New York. Also, in the New York, New York, they have the Hershey's Chocolate World. Again, another place for chocolate lovers. Now, you get every single type of Reese's flavor you could possibly imagine here. I would say do some taste testing and see which one you like the best, I guess. Next up, we're heading to an older casino called the Luxor. Obviously, it's the pyramid with the big light at the top. Now, the Luxor is getting dated, but it's still a very popular place to go, and they do have the Titanic art and shows like Fantasy and Carrot Top Live. Also, if you go to the top, they have this exhibit called The Bodies, which to me is a bit creepy for me. I don't personally go in there, but the other one that people do go to, again, is the Titanic, which is an old artifact museum from the Titanic. So if you want to learn about the Titanic while you're in Las Vegas, believe it or not, that's where you're going to go, the Luxor. And you can see the Egyptian fusion with the Titanic Museum, kind of how the rooms slope up. Now we're going to talk about the Golden Nugget. And when you go to the Golden Nugget, you have to